Experts are saying that this is a 500-year event. It's going to have a major impact on Midland County and beyond for the time to come.
Producers across Michigan assess the damage from heavy rains and historic flooding, while farmers in hard-hit areas face replant decisions. And there's still help available for producers impacted by natural disasters in 2018 and 2019. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
From helping fill sandbags to a friendly gesture from a neighbor, farmers and residents impacted by heavy rains and historic flooding have stepped up to help one another over the last week.
Every single day since the flood, we've had neighbors, friends, people that we don't even know stop and say, how can we help? Neighbor down the road brought us pumps, cleaning supplies. Just anybody and everybody has been asking, how can we help? How can we help? Anything that had sentimental value or, freezer, the dryer that was down there, we got that all up. But it's just the emotional, like my grandma passed away in 2018 and all of her sewing stuff was down there, and we ended up throwing away a lot of that stuff. And that was hard.
Our friends and neighbors up in the All Gray area and Turner area, there was so little ground that was showing. Everything is underwater, miles of water. Here again, the problem is Lake Huron is right there. And when you got a wind pushing water inward and all this water trying to get out, where does it go? It just lays in the middle. That area has had flooding in the past, and they will have flooding again, unfortunately.
As farmers continue to dry out, Governor Gretchen Whitmer declared a state of emergency for Aranac, Gladwin, Midland, Iosco, and Saginaw counties. She's also requesting the State Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy investigate the disaster and why 2 dams failed.
This flooding forced thousands to evacuate their homes. As I said, it destroyed critical infrastructure, ruined homes and businesses, and caused major natural resource damage. And those responsible need to be held accountable.
2020 has gotten off to a bit of a grim start for farmers across the state with a late frost, a global health pandemic, and now flooding.
I don't know who wouldn't be stressed right now. Weather extremes are getting more erratic. There's more unpredictability in the markets. There seems to be very few things that we can actually control anymore. So it's getting to be quite a ride. The virus is something significant. It is changing the way we think about everything. It has impacted our markets exponentially. We've had cattle in the market, but we've got no processors to. When there seems to be something that has a glimmer of hope, it just gets squashed.
But anytime you have a disaster, there are always rays of hope, like the efforts of Ag Community Relief. The organization, based here in Michigan, has helped farmers and ranchers in other states impacted by natural disasters. This week, they were able to help closer to home.
One of the first people to donate was someone from Kansas that we had helped in 2017 with the wildfires. So it makes them feel good because they've been in the situation where they've needed help. It makes them feel good to be able to give back. We need the community's help letting us know if there's someone that needs help. Anyone that deals with the ag sector knows that we are the first to come and give, but we are always the last ones to stand in line and ask for help.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're going to want a Ford.
Planting progress in Michigan, while still ahead of the 5-year average, slowed for the week ending May 24th due to excessive rainfall in many parts of the state. According to USDA's National Ag Statistics Service, 70% of the state's corn and 65% of the state's soybean acres have been planted. The wet weather is forcing many to think about replanting corn and beans. Gary Brinkman, Pioneer Field Agronomist, says there are 3 factors growers need to consider before making replant decisions.
The most important thing is duration. How long does it sit there? The second thing is growth stage. Obviously, smaller seed is going to be more likely to have issues from saturated and or flooded conditions. And again, let me emphasize it doesn't just have to be flooded, but we have a lot of saturated soil right now. And then the third driving factor really is temperature. Fortunately, we have had temperatures in that 50 to 60 degree range, and that will sustain the corn much longer in those stressful environments. What growers should do is just actually go and dig up some plants, put your boots on, and dig up some plants and examine the roots. That's the thing that would be the most important thing. A nice, healthy root will be white. The tissue should still be white and healthy. So those are the things that we would want to examine as we're walking fields that are saturated. Soybeans have a little bit more resiliency than corn. And so where corn may give out after 3 or 4 days, soybeans could last for 4 to 6 days, again, depending on temperature. Very simple statement that I maintain and help growers. Growth is the only evidence of life. So what will happen, especially in the case of soybeans, is the roots will maybe start to rot. And as you see new root growth, that's a wonderful indication. That means that as you're thinking about taking stand counts, and it will be difficult to take stand counts because that's obviously the most important criteria. When we're thinking of corn, generally I don't like to keep stands that are less than 20,000 plants per acre.
And Brinkman suggests contacting your seed rep once you've made your replant decisions.
There's plenty of seed right now to cover the earlier hybrids that I'm guessing most guys would probably want to move into. I wouldn't panic. What I would suggest growers is to talk to their seed representative and just let them know they have X number of acres that they think they may have to replant, just so that could get in place and in position for the grower as he's having to consider and move forward with replant options.
What happens when a road accident results in a hazardous waste spill? Contact attorney Dirk Beckwith at 248-539-9918 to learn the next steps.
The Coronavirus Food Assistance Program isn't the only way producers can recoup losses from the current global health pandemic or the last 2 years of woeful weather. While a lot of attention has been paid to CFAP lately, producers can also sign up for the Wildlife and Hurricane Indemnity Program, also known as WIP Plus. It's designed to help producers who suffered eligible losses because of drought or excess moisture in 2018 and 2019. Farmers in 79 of Michigan's 83 counties qualify for the Disaster Assistance Program. For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com or the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.